And we're live.
Bingo. Hello, everybody. I hope you're back from Kino, and everybody's in the midst of hitting something absolutely enormous. So, welcome back to our little humble abode here in Las Vegas, Nevada, or at least that's what the sign says. Whether we're actually in Las Vegas could be something. Imagine that we're like in New Mexico somewhere, but we're interestingly there is a Las Vegas, New Mexico. I have a friend of mine who made the mistake of getting off the plane in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Not what he was looking forward to. Okay, so welcome back, and this is going to be an Ask Me Anything, or rather, almost anything. Dennis is going to serve as my filter.
Can ask anything doesn't mean we'll answer anything.
Yeah, he's going to lock it down. Go, Dennis. You let him have it, buddy. So this is literally about anything that might be in my breadth of knowledge, which is the universe. It's everything. So there's that. That's not the universe. I'm lucky to get up in the morning and, hit the toilet squarely. You know what I'm saying? And I got the handy phone here just in case it's a current events thing, because always trying to stay ahead of current events. If you haven't already seen it, the MSG Sphere went live. I always like to kind of pay attention to the big stuff, and that is big stuff. I'm a huge fan, as is most people. Not looking to generate views. Well, I'm looking to generate views, but just not going negative all the time. Although my last podcast was titled "Las Vegas Sucks," though, but in a good way. In a good way. All right. Is the mic working? Can they hear me?
Someone said the mic sounds nasally. Mics can't sound nasally, so that's just David.
It's just me. Yeah, 100%. Sorry about that. It's these damn sinus, whatever. If you notice where we're in our new location. We have this new, I would say, content or collaborative house. It was either this or a storage unit. So same price. Either get a big fat house or a dusty storage unit. We chose the house. Congratulations. So, so many companies are having problems getting their employees to come to work. We figure, because they don't want to leave the house. Now they don't have to leave the house. They can just literally roll out of bed and bam, David's right there. Get your ass up. All right. We have, wow, you doing yoga while we're doing this exercise? Yeah, you don't see the behind the scenes. Dennis is rejiggering things over here, or reconfiguring things. How's it looking? Good? They weren't seeing you as the optimum, yeah. All right. So let's start. Any questions right off the bat? I think I already went on a tangent, dude. It's unbelievable. I'm 1 minute in. I'm tangent.
This one's gonna be really, really easy to answer.
Oh my God. My name's David.
Is Timmy transgender?
No. It's interesting. I mean, it's funny because if Timmy was here, he would not. That's not a thing for him. You know what I'm saying? He would look great in a wig. No. Anyways.
I don't think so.
I don't want to get really. He's very sort of androgynous, Timmy. Timmy's coming back right after this.
Have you seen Timmy lately? I don't think.
He's gained a little weight. Just so you know, he's living quite literally the fat and happy life. You know what I mean? But Timmy went to. I mean, what kind of question is that? Timmy went to Japan. He has a new wife, or rather, I guess she's. I guess they've been together a year, so not exactly new, but. So he has pursued another channel. So he likes challenges. So he set about with a new challenge. He did that, but he is coming back. You're going to see work from him. You might even see him specifically. We're not sure when he's coming back to Vegas, but it might be a minute.
And it might. We're not sure exactly what the scope of that is, so don't get your hopes.
The scope could be rip it or it could be all sorts of things. But we love Timmy. He was very valuable. The thing is, it's interesting because people are still watching Timmy videos. And I've had quite a few people come in, and Timmy is so excited. He's in our biggest video, him talking nonsense, him and Alex. You know what I mean? And so there's that. But we love Timmy. Timmy was an integral part of our success. We were very fortunate to have him with us. So we're revisiting the Timmy quotient. But wow, what a great question! Fantastic. Just lead with that. All right, what else you got? Oh my God, this is gonna go off the rails.
On the driveway and drive on a parkway.
I know those are like existential stuff, dude. This is like It's the English language sucks. How about that? We could have a whole other episode on that one, but there's nothing. I'm gonna need to. It looks like Dennis is doing somersaults around the flipping thing here, so I guess he's getting more equipment. Yeah, I know. It's by the way, the English language has all sorts of. Oh God, has all sorts of that crap. You okay, buddy?
Yeah.
Wow. But you just gotta ignore it and move on. I think we have too many words. It makes it, and then we have kids making up words today. So who knows what the hell is
Your
going on?
generation made up words.
Listen here, buddy. We didn't make up anything. We weren't eating stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
which could be any number
Doesn't
of
mean you
things.
didn't make anything up.
Listen. All of our words are perfect. Okay, just because you guys ended the scene later doesn't mean you gotta be, pain in the ass about it. All right. What else you got? Anything else? Is there anything else out there? We're just gonna sit here and because I'm gonna go into like other
Reno.
stuff. Reno?
Gave us a super chat. Our Reno.
Wow, Reno's
Says,
loaded.
Does Reno have a future at CEG/CQ since the ball shaming of Alex?
We might promote you, dude. That could come with promotion. Ball shaming Alex is just like an automatic win. I'm surprised. Did we give you a bonus that week? Did it come with a bonus? Because I would think that would be a bonus. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Reno. By the way, if you don't know Reno's a great story. Let's share the Reno story. How about that? Reno came to us at 20 years old, give or take, maybe 19. He was too early to become a dealer, so it's funny because Reno was kind of a smaller guy. Now he's a little bigger guy. You know how it happens. But he came to us. He learned how to deal. He became strangely enough, if you ever meet Reno is a very unique individual. He has a collection of keychains, which he travels with. That one of them is attached to, I think, a bear. Is it a bear? What does his keychain encompass?
It's like a little teddy bear.
A little teddy bear. Yeah, he carries around with him. He is, I know he's out there, and I don't mean to, but Reno is actually one of my favorite people because I love people that kind of own their space, are unique, and strangely enough, Reno came into this world.
Came into this world.
Reno is kind of a shy. He's got some insecurities and these kinds of things, but he's evolved from that. That's the greatest thing about becoming a dealer. Casino dealer, it's you create presence for yourself one way or the other. It's amazing. If you see people who started this business and then you revisit them a couple years from now, you're like, holy crap. What happened? You're now this confident, person with presence. I mean, you don't have a choice. Either that or you got to get the hell out kind of thing. But anyway, so Reno came to the school. He started out slowly, and he became a really good dealer. In fact, such a good dealer that one of the biggest players on the planet, literally on the planet, it's her favorite dealer. I mean, I kid you not. And if you were to meet him, he's a bit disarming that way. You would not think that he has that. But being a dealer is not so much being, always technically proficient. It's being able to interact and communicate and adapt to your, the people that you're dealing with. And he does that marvelously. Like, he's literally he's his own person all the time. He doesn't let anything else take away from that. And this woman, who you may or may not know, is Kelly's son. Yeah, I can say Kelly's son because she's told me. One of her, let's just say one of her favorite dealers. She has other dealers that she's enjoyed, the ones that she's beaten for a lot of money, of course. But yeah, she loves Reno. And she's not easy, by the way. She's this high-end player who's very, very, very specific. Like, so specific and so nuanced in her play that, it's hard to deal with her. It's hard to deal to her. If you're a dealer, not a lot of dealers, let's just say, she's not every dealer's favorite player. But Reno, easy. It's fantastic. By the way, he works at Casino Quest. We also have him at the school as a coach now. So if you want to come down and see what it's all about, I mean, he's the guy. We get, it's interesting because I think when people first meet Reno, because he could be a little disarming, but then you actually sit down and talk to the guy, you realize, yeah, it's a living, thinking person. Wow, that's a compliment right there, buddy, huh? Am I still nasally? I think so.
But that's just you.
That's just me.
For anyone saying I'm quiet, it's only because David's a lot louder, and I don't want to boost the gain on my mic because if I pick him up too, you'll hear him twice.
Yeah, I tend to be louder. All right, what else you got? We got to have a few, no?
So we have VA Crap Shooters asking, what's with the light strips on Daddy David? If you see the light strip status, because we have these What are they called? These shutters?
Plantation shutters.
We have
Yeah.
plantation
Oh
shutters.
yeah. Wow, that's cool. I got them all lit up. Yeah. So this house has plantation shutters throughout the entire house, so the light beams in. We also now have a pool, which unfortunately is not working yet. So you'll see the lights fluttering off of the pool. That's the effect from the pool.
Not from where we are in this vantage
Oh,
point.
okay. Interesting. Well, one way to introduce the pool is to talk about the pool. Go ahead. It's broken though. Damn it. Those bastards, little bastards, better get out here and fix the damn pool.
What do you think about California craps tables? Is there any strategy in card craps tables?
I mean,
They say it's the same thing, no?
It's like a bingo table. It really isn't. I believe that any 50-50 game just doesn't have an opportunity like regular craps. I'll be honest with you, I have not played. I'm aware of Class 2 gaming, and Class 2 gaming is, however it's set up, is 50-50. So I've seen like the roulette, and I've seen how they pull the cards. But yeah, no, I mean I can't speak because there's no shooter, right? There's no one really throwing a dice, and I mean even if they incorporate the dice, I don't see how that would work. I think it's like you pull the cards out and they come up with an outcome.
Timmy actually commented earlier.
Timmy's there?
I didn't catch it.
Timmy's there?
I don't know if he's still.
Uh-huh.
If he's still in the chat or if he's still listening.
He would love that question. He was asked that question. I think the very first time we ended up on videos, like the first thing out of someone's mouth.
He said he's Thai. That's what he said.
Oh, he is Thai. He is Thai. So yeah, he's of the fair race. I don't know what you say. Listen, there's certain things you don't want to touch with a stick these days, and there's Timmy is the stick. Wow. Wow, there we go. All right, what else you got?
Opinion on Laughlin, Nevada.
I love Laughlin. It's cheap. I will say this: if you go to Laughlin and you're expecting anything at scale or anything refined like what Vegas has, you'll be very disappointed. But if you really like it, it's sort of like the western, part of Vegas, I would say. Every time I go there, I love it. I personally love it because the minute I go into a whole nother mode, you're gonna eat grits and old school stuff. The restaurants there, there's not a single one I can point to and go, oh my God, that was just like the best meal. It's not like it's none of that. It's all about just gambling. It's inexpensive. It's easy to get on, lower limit tables or lower limit machines. In fact, I have heard that some of the tables haven't come up, sadly, which I think they're trying to borrow from Vegas. That's not gonna last long. But I like Laughlin. We visited during COVID. It was one of the last towns that was like F you and stayed open, right? There was still places to go and things to do. There was even a time when Vegas shut down and you could still drive to Laughlin and still get on a game and do stuff. But I've always enjoyed Laughlin. There's some of the places are almost too cruddy, but for the most part, I like it. That's one of the reasons I've always liked downtown. I feel like it's more of a regular, place. What do you think? I wouldn't go in the water though. Stay out of the damn water. It's a little oof. Huh. Do you have a comment on Laughlin? What do you know about Laughlin?
No, I'm not trying to comment on Laughlin. I'm trying to see how my audio is doing.
There's really? You're checking the audio?
Of a weird thing going on.
The nerds work on the nerdy stuff. You guys know what I mean. But I do love Laughlin. If you have a chance to go to Laughlin, just go there for what it is, and don't expect anything else. They advertise all these other things but it's not a thing. You go to, if you've ever stayed on the Strip in a nice room and then you go to Laughlin and you're like, that's not the same thing. But it's for a reason. I hope that if you're not a smoker, by the way, there's certain properties you're going to want to stay away from. And kind of read the reviews on that because I don't want to be the guy that led you down the wrong path. But some of those properties, they advertise like no smoking rooms, and let me say, it's going to take them 100 years to get the smoke out of some of those rooms. Yeah.
How is the audio now? Hopefully I fixed it. I'm not sure, but we're going to hope.
Yeah.
We do have a couple questions. I hope you can hear them, but if you can't.
Got it. What do you got?
Can I get your opinion on card counters?
I think card counting is a kind of a dying thing now. Automatic shufflers are going to become a mainstay. The only people that don't have automatic shufflers are casinos that either can't afford it or kind of trying to appeal to a different audience. But I feel like that's one of those components that'll be less relevant here in the very near future, given the affordability and the access of technology. I mean, how do you count an automatic shuffler? You just can't, and that's one of the reasons why, they have them. Not to mention, pulling the cards in these, the windows on the shoes, so eliminating that, so no more edge sorting. I mean, there's the casinos are going to do everything that they can to eliminate, kind of all of that. So I would get back to creating opportunity and basic strategy. Oh my God. But I will say that I personally have, I will keep a soft count. When I used to play downtown and there were face-ups, I would keep a soft count because I think everyone that played anyway seriously did. And by a soft count, you're just getting a positive and negative score and trying to figure out, when might be a better time to press. And I would always play 2 bets. But I was never good enough to do a hard count or run down an actual shoe. So if you can do that, congratulations. But I do think that anywhere where you're going to win enough money where it matters is going to have an automatic shuffler. I mean, and if you play at a smaller place, what's there to win?
We do have a couple of super chats. So I'm gonna. If I skip your question, doesn't mean. First off, if you ask.
By the way, we're
question,
gonna give stuff away. You ready? I'm gonna get something big. We have a coin. So I don't know. You guys are familiar. We have this Casino Quest coin that we have minted, and we're coming up with a new version. We have a new manufacturer that is going to be sending us a new coin with a ridged edge. So we're making some upgrades to this, but we have a couple of these left, and they're on our site shopcasinoquest.com. I'm gonna throw that out there real quick. But I'm gonna give this away. If and when, is it possible we can get 200 likes? 200 likes, we give it away. What do you think? Good?
With the plastic or
no, you can't get the acrylic. You know how much this acrylic thing was, especially now it's unbelievable. Acrylics have gone up in value. But the coin, you get the coin. You can put it wherever you want. It's really a fantastic coin. It's a 50 millimeter coin, so it's an oversized coin. With the black enamel. It's really a nice coin, but. Okay, go. What do you got?
What? We have a super chat from Gus. It was $4.99. Says,
thank you, Gus.
Can David tell a story about Dennis Rodman or when he crapped his pants?
When I crap my pants?
I think he's talking about the he shit himself, Bell.
No. So there's a few crapping of the pants stories. I shouldn't tell the personal one. I'll save that for Dice with David. There's one where I personally had an experience of when I was a young man, but so I think what he's referring to is I was working at a casino where we had this older guy who came to the table. It was one of the worst jobs I think I've ever had, and one of the problems being a crap stealer especially is if you really have to go to the bathroom. And you raise your hand and you ask for a supervisor. Normally, if you're on Blackjack and you really have to go, someone can tap you out. A supervisor is supposed to come up and tap you out, and they can take over for you or just hold the space. They can just hold the game, whatever they need to do. But some supervisors are so intimidated to get on a craps table that they'll be like, "No, we're not going to tap you out. You got to do your time around," and that's the end of it.
No, he's referring to when you were a kid.
You bastard! You little bastard!
I was right about that.
Really?
One.
Who told him this damn story?
You told him on Patreon.
I did? Oh, my God.
That was one of your Patreon stories.
All right. Really? I got to do that one? Do I have to?
You don't have to, but he asked.
Oh, my
so
God.
just do the Dennis. You said
Dennis Rodman story?
One or the other.
One or the other. I almost
do Dennis Rodman.
Because Dennis Rodman I've been shared for. So Dennis Rodman. All right, let me give I'll finally share the Dennis Rodman story with you. Okay, you ready? So here's the Dennis Rodman story. This is circa 1998. I know. It feels like, how the hell did I get so? How did we get so old? Okay, what happened? So circa 1998, Dennis Rodman got permission from the Chicago Bulls. Now I'm filling in a little bit because I now know what happened post facto. But I was lucky enough to be the dealer on the table when Dennis Rodman came to the Rio. And so we knew he was coming, and I was working on this third base side of the game. And, of course, it was a lot of apprehension, let's just say, because he was going through, an odd period. The very fact that you had to get permission from your team to, travel or leave. I mean, many of you know he was, dealing with some stuff. I'm not sure. He was just going through his own thing, doing his own thing, being his own person. So, he comes up to the table and he's with, oh God, I don't know how to do this without, because this is kind of an R-rated story, and there is an elementary school that's watching. No, probably not. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a bit R-rated, dude. You know what I'm saying? Should I go back to the poopy story? Because now got everybody hyped up about the Dennis Rodman one, dude. They're all like, "Oh my God!"
It's up to you. It's your choice.
I'm gonna try to do this PG-13, and we'll see how this goes. So here's how it goes. So he comes up to the table and he's with this woman who is, so my mother is 5 feet tall. And I remember that this woman is literally, she came up to the exact same point on me that my mother does. So, 5 feet tall, give or take, okay? And she's wearing the sheerest bodysuit you have ever experienced. For those of you who have, remember the Lululemon controversy? For those of you lucky enough to be in those yoga classes when that was a thing, that was exactly the thing. I mean, this woman had the earlier version of the Lululemon ultra sheer white, and leaving nothing to the imagination, and I mean nothing. And if you wonder, like, interestingly, when Marnell had the Rio, I kid you not, and one of the reasons why it made it such a fantastic place was that there were lots of allowances. Like, there was this one whole bar where all of the professionals used to work, not behind the bar. Well, maybe they were working behind the bar, but literally like lined up. Like, it was amazing because if you were lucky enough to be on the craps pit watching that bar, it's not like we knew them personally, but you knew the ones. Oh yeah, you knew the ones that were, let's just say cost a few extra dollars. They weren't there for free drinks. You know what I mean? They were there for free drinks and a ride up the elevator. Which, by the way, a ride up the elevator, dude. A ride up the elevator is $1,000. I got off a table one. I know, a little tangent. Bear with me because this will help fill in. This flavors the rest of the story. So I got off a table one day. And there was this one woman who seemed relatively approachable to a young man like myself. And, she was just mulling around, and, outside the bar. And I knew she was a pro. I knew she was a pro. She knew, I knew, and so she was very nice. And I was like, listen, I see you guys go up the elevator. How much does it cost to go up the elevator? That's all I asked. You know what I mean? I didn't say, how much does it go up the elevator, go into my room and have it, you know what I mean? And, get the whole rainbow of colors, you know what I'm saying? But she's like $1,000, really, $1,000. And I was like, well, what if I only make it to level 3? Like, you know what I'm saying? Can you imagine you get a discount, how far up the elevator you get? Now, imagine they got off the elevator, they went to a room. But some of these girls, they would go up to a room, and within literally like 30 minutes, they were on their way back. You know what I mean? And they were like on to seconds and thirds. They would work the whole night. I could only imagine how much money they were making. Well, they had to make a lot of money to afford that doctor bill. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. Back to Dennis Rodman. So this girl was not, as far as I know, I mean, listen, for all I know, this could have been his wife. I have no idea who this woman was. I'm guessing she was not. She was just there to hang out. And so here he is, and he's wearing a hat, a leather hat, and he's got like a cigar, but it's not lit. And so this girl is, oh my God, I can't finish this story, dude.
Do you want me to finish it for you?
No, because I realize where it goes. All right, I'm gonna leave it at the point of where I can leave it, and then we're gonna move on from there. Because, I mean, we're going to get back to it. And if you want to, I could do the whole, he shit himself, Bill. So anyway, so Dennis Rodman says, girl comes up to the table. Dennis Rodman's behind this girl. He's not actually shooting or buying in. She buys in for a little bit of money. I'm not exactly sure. I just remember her having a pass line bet. And then she's hanging out on the table. Dennis Rodman is behind her. And Dennis Rodman has one hand on, like, the cigar that he has in his mouth. And his other hand is on her waist. And so, everything is fine. She's shooting the dice. She's leaning over. And now, Dennis Rodman's a really tall guy, right? He's like really tall. He's legitimately tall. He's not like some guy that was shorter, that was able to jump high. He was like really tall guy. I met Kevin McHale one time from the Celtics. Dennis doesn't know who that is. And I think are they the same height? I'm asking Dennis. Dennis doesn't know. But I think Dennis Rodman is close to 7 feet, right? Something, or no, maybe not. But anyway, so he's got really big hands, as you can imagine. And so at some point I lean over to my boxman and I ask him, because I'm not a big sports ball fan. I asked, how many fingers does Dennis Rodman have? And he's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I can only see 4 fingers. I can only see 4 fingers. And he's like, well, I'm pretty sure he has 5 fingers. I'm like, well, we can only see 4 fingers at this juncture in time. I mean, legitimately, like, the most impressive thing, though, besides the 4-fingered, can I say the 4-finger discount? But this girl, she was shooting the dice, and her expression never changed. Like, literally never changed. Like, there was no change in expression. I mean, and my boxman and I, we kept looking at this woman, expecting her to, like, demonstrate something, like that there was something going on, and literally nothing, not a single thing, complete neutrality. And she was throwing the dice. She was like, dude, wow, true professional. All right, well, anyway, that's as far as I'm going to go with that story. We're going to leave it at that. That was Dennis Rodman circa, it was 1990, I believe it was 1998, the middle of 1998, like March, April, I don't know, something like this. But there you go. I used to save that for my Dice with David. Now no one needs to make an appointment with me. There you go. My last note. I got plenty of stories. You kidding me?
Alan Toy.
Alan.
Used his member chat, said, "Hi, Grandpa David. I have something to give you to add to your collection when I visit in September. Requesting you to deal my 15-spin challenge." 15
spin on roulette?
Yes.
Okay, so it's going to be more like an 8-spin challenge. Right up until we lose the ball, dude. Right up until we lose. I am really dangerous with that ball, bro. Really dangerous. I kid you not. By the way, Alan, we have all your stuff. We're moving it over here to the house. We love it, dude. I even have your... Alan has made some interesting stuff for us over the years. It's been fantastic. So thank you so much. Yep.
Someone asked, what's your favorite charity?
My favorite charity? That's a good question. I'll believe it. My favorite charity is a person who needs help. I find that a lot of charities haven't the.
I have the answer for David. He doesn't know the answer, the right answer.
So
our Path Up Foundation.
So our right now our Path Up Foundation is our biggest deal because we put that money, every single cent of it, to use for the person. We're not. We didn't create a charity to, buy houses or do other shit with it. I mean, so, that's the thing. I tried to, but the 2 biggest things that I have invested in over time is homeless youth, and, career path, finding people, creating opportunity for people who want to move forward, and especially people that are in transition for whatever reason, lots of bad luck, a lot of things happen in life. And having worked at the school now for these years, it's amazing the number of people that come in, and some are doing great. I mean, we've had Wall Street, analysts come into the school, sign up, and move on and get a job as a dealer because that was their bucket list. That was the last thing they want to do. But then we have people who are in their 60s who are looking for a part-time job or for whatever reason, and becoming a dealer has really been a fantastic way forward. And we're very proud, by the way, of the kind of the dealer experience that we've created. It's not perfect, not all the time perfect, but it's a fantastic way forward. So our investment. So every dollar that goes up, we still have to update. I'm sorry for those of you who we actually have a little more money in there than we had have on that page, but we just haven't had time. We update that page statically, so it's not like every time you hit the button it goes to go up by $10 or whatever. But I promise you this. Every single dollar goes to the student, or yep.
Someone's asking I think after looking at your pretender roulette strategy, should I not waste my time submitting anymore since Alex lost everything? If you're submitting the same system, don't submit again. We won't do it again. But
really?
If you're doing a new system, go ahead, submit.
Look at that.
I mean, Porpo Cobra literally submits all day long.
Dude, I don't think that guy works for a living. I think he's got kids and just, listen, get the kids off to work and, bam, work on systems.
Paul Peterson gave us $5. Says,
thank you, sir.
1, see you to enroll for all games in 20 days.
Yeah.
Not sure what that means. I read it exactly.
I think this is someone who reached out to me, maybe. Okay. He's coming out to Vegas, and yep.
And it said 2,
yep.
Can you explain the natural path for dealers to progress up management route?
Yes, is literally to stay alive, have blood coursing through your veins. So opportunity for Vegas is outrageous. Okay, so let me on a more serious note. Here's what I'll tell you. To be there's a couple different paths now to go into management in Las Vegas. One is if you come here with management experience, that's going to be looked on very favorably, and casinos will, especially if you're a little older, 21, maybe you're 30, maybe you're mid 20s, this kind of thing. And so, you learn a couple games, and before long, they're going to tap you and ask you if you're interested in being a floor supervisor. And I'm going to get to the caveat part of it in a second. So there's a couple ways. Now, we also have Vegas now has mentoring programs. We have UNLV. There's a college. I recommend though, and I will tell you, like even if you do go UNLV, and we know one of the professors there, you want to learn the games. The table games are really instrumental. If we're talking management, we're talking casino management, right? Because if you're going to slot management, then you need really, you get some tech skills. You work on slot machines, and then you look at, there's all sorts of other, aspects associated with that. But as far as table games go, it's important that you understand how table games work, how people interact with table games, how the money moves, and game security. All those things are fundamental. And there are many classes that will teach you the theory and kind of give you a heads up view, but being on the table, being an actual dealer is very instrumental and much more productive path to becoming a manager long term. Almost every high level manager I know has at least some table game experience. There's a couple of exceptions. At the very top, at the VP and the president level, I know people that have come from other divisions and they understand sort of the macroeconomics of the table games, and they leave the nuts and bolts for the people that they hire underneath them. But those people will hire shift bosses and pit managers who are very, very knowledgeable on the games. As far as coming to, let's say, and by the way, we have quite a few people at the highest level. We have an assistant GM now who just 6 years ago or 7 years ago was at the school, or 6 years ago was at the school. So we have people that have gone through our program and evolved and become management. Okay, so learn all the games. Number one is you want to know as many games as possible. You want to be very flexible. The more they can use you in a casino environment, the better. At some point, it's really good to do some type of online school. And if you don't have a degree or some kind of certificate, or maybe some type of an accounting degree, team leadership. I mean, there's lots of things that you can get. I know a lot of people have gone like the University of Phoenix path, this type of thing, and that's all they're looking for is, the ability to get through these sort of higher level classes and score well at them. It's not so much the content of the classes all the time, although that could be useful. I know people that have come to Vegas, they go through the table games and they go to UNLV or they go to Clark County. Actually, it's not called Clark. It's called College of Southern Nevada now. College of Southern CSN, something like that.
Yeah,
CSN.
College of Southern Nevada.
And they have these certificate programs that are very useful to demonstrate that you can a little bit of higher learning, critical thinking, those kinds of things. But there's lots of cases, in fact, many cases still where people evolve straight off the casino floor. But once you get to higher levels of management, they're definitely looking at you to be, in order to break out from, like, let's say, a pit manager, a backup shift, and really get into that shift job. A lot of casinos now, especially the networked ones, the ones that have other casinos under management, quite a few casinos under management, are looking you to have some type of certification, maybe an accounting degree. It doesn't have to be a 4-year degree either. A lot of times a 2-year degree is fine as long as your test scores are reasonable, that kind of thing. Yeah. All right, anything else? Any caveat to that? There's a lot to that. Dude, I can go on forever about management. I will say this. So the caveat is don't get a floor job until you have 2 years of actual dealing under your belt. So it used to be without fail that many strip properties wouldn't hire you onto the floor, or you had no chance of getting to higher levels of supervision unless you really had nuts and bolts experience of being a dealer. And that needle has changed a little bit because demand for dealers and supervisors is literally so high. I know people who have literally gone to a casino, have some management experience prior to being in the casino, and within 2 weeks, they tap them to be watching games. I will tell you that's the biggest mistake that you can make. If you're at a break-in property and they tap you right away to be a floor supervisor, they're going to lock you in because that experience does not translate. You do not have enough time in game. So if you try to go to a bigger property, almost everywhere on the strip, where the money is almost double in some cases what you will make as a floor supervisor anywhere else. Some of these strip properties will pay double, even triple in some cases, right? And they will only look at you if they know that you have this sort of full, very, depth of experience and knowledge of the games themselves. Where it used to be 2 years. If you had 2 years, they knew that you had, covered most of the mistakes. You had come across most of the obstacles related to the games, things like this. So I would recommend putting in some time. Go ahead.
By the way, there's a lot of questions, guys, and we're answering. David's.
We're gonna get all of them.
No,
we're here for the long
I
haul,
don't
dude.
No, we haven't ate anything, by the way. If you're wondering, because someone mentioned your shirt's missing sleeves. If you're wondering why I am in a tank top and not like dressed, it's because we almost forgot that the podcast was a thing.
Oh my God! Don't tell him that.
So
dude.
we set
we're
up
so
last
efficient.
minute.
I know. That's why it's funny because we're just moved into this house, and behind Dennis, you'll see all the cups and stuff that we bought for everybody. That we can't get the damn sticker. Who the hell puts stickers on damn cups? I mean, it's so each of these cups takes like of course we got these at Walmart.
They're tough. They're literally tough.
And so every day we're trying to get one sticker off. I mean, they should have them stickers, removable stickers. I mean, everybody agrees with me. I have to. You know what I mean? Except the guy that's checking out cups at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? All right, what do you got?
So we won't get through all questions.
Yeah,
Plus,
we are.
No,
I'm gonna sit here. Dennis is gonna get the hell out of here. It's just gonna be us.
I'll click the end button. Trust me.
Oh God, little bastard has control.
We were gonna go eat, and then we realized we had the podcast.
All right, let's get to the questions, dude. No one wants to hear about your eating banter, okay?
You don't know that. You don't know that.
They might want to. It doesn't look like you eat a whole lot, so I'm not sure how relevant that is. You know what I'm saying?
I love food.
You do love food? Where do you put
food.
it, buddy?
My belly.
In your belly. Jesus. Go.
We have someone said. Where did it go? Someone says, "Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Our craps dealers trained to fidget and lean into the table while shooters are getting ready to roll the dice."
No, that's not a thing. They're just lazy and bored, and they fidget because they can't stand up on their own 2 feet anymore. It's amazing because dealers get so lazy as they evolve over time, and you'll see them with one hand. Like one hand leans on the rail, or one hand leans on the table, and the other hand reaches out every now and then and does what it needs to do. And I know that there's a lot of people that think that dealers will try to play a role in changing the game, and that's only true if they're trying to close the table. Like if you're on a shift and a supervisor said, "Hey, last shooter, bring up the lid," or a lot of times what a supervisor will do is they'll say, "Listen, if you can get a 7 out, and if you clear this game." This has happened many times. It's stunning. Even when I was at the Rio, so a supervisor will come up and say, "Listen, if you can clear this game out, you can kill this game. We'll close it, and you guys can go home early." And so now you'll see dealers, and if you're at a game like this, you might not know that they just had that conversation. Then the dealers you'll see them just whipping the dice, and they're turning the dice over. Those that want to go home, right? And then the dynamics will change. So in that case, yes, I believe that if someone has said, if you kill this game, by kill this game, that means getting everybody to either cash, color out, lose all their money, and leave, then yes, because I've seen dealers go through outrageous lengths to get someone off the game. I've actually been on a base, and this was I used to work with this crew where I was the only one who wanted to do the whole shift because I had a baby at home. I had no choice. And this kid, the young guy that we were all young at the time that I worked with, always wanted to go home early. And the minute they said, "Listen, if you can kill this game, we'll let you guys go home early." And one time the supervisor says, "If you kill this game," and the game is full. And I'm looking around, and there's literally, when I say full, okay, let's say 12 people, maybe not 16 people. And I'm like, what the hell? How the hell are you going to clear this game? And so this stick person, who happened to be on the stick, who wanted to go home early, he literally puts his stick out in front of people, and he's like, "Listen, you probably don't want to shoot, right? It's been a terrible game. Nobody's here wanting you to win. You probably just don't, because if you don't get any shooters, the game's dead, right?" So he would go in and he would just guilt everybody. "Listen, I'm trying to get home. I don't want to work today. I mean, you really don't want to shoot, right?" I mean, that should be illegal. And sure enough, he was able to close the game. I had to go home. He was such a little ass. But every time they gave him the option, then he would start whipping the dice and turning the dice, and he would even start talking shit to the players. I mean, it's outrageous. But I think normally if it's a fidgety dude, a fidgety person, they're just fidgety, and it is what it is. Good.
We have a super chat from Clint Vert, which
Clint.
is Purple Cobra.
Yeah.
Give us $4.99.
Get to work, Clint. You don't have time for this podcast. You got to work on strategies, buddy.
He said, going in September, how
Yeah.
can I take advantage of Vegas Tycoon? I'm guessing he means the site, not so much the YouTube
Yeah, so
channel.
we're building this kind of new. We've been working through it. Alex, is trying not to get kidnapped in Mexico right now at this wedding. He's actually in Mexico. So come next week is when that's the whole purpose of having this house. We're kind of pivoting. So we have, Casino Quest is covered. We have the school covered for the most part, and then we're trying to, push out the experience, with Vegas Tycoon. So if you go to Vegas Tycoon, right now you can send us information about your player activity and this type of thing, and we are working with hosts, maybe one host specifically, but we're trying to capture this and figure out what the demand is, and then we're kind of going to go from there. So it's going to be a work in progress, but expect to see a lot more things. So one of the things we're going to try to do is negotiate a special experience. And we have a few places lined up. We're going to be able to provide you with some free stuff, some discounted rooms. Now, mind you, this isn't going to be the top level of Vegas. We're still working on that, although that could happen soon. We have some properties we know are interested, but they all have to see what kind of demand there is. So it's a process in evolution, let's just say. Yep.
Someone asked, where is Lucky Lauren? Lucky Lauren's still with us.
It's that same one person. It's funny. I just had a conversation with Lauren the other day, and I had some. By the way, we absolutely love Lauren. Sometimes she's left out of the loop by accident. We love her so much, we just take her for granted, dude. We're like kids that take their parents for granted. You know what I mean? I know that sounds terrible. But Lauren, by the way, Lauren has been a very, very integral part of our business for a long time. And if not for Lauren, has really been her and Becky lock that school down like you have nobody's business. They do fantastic things. We can leave the school, and we know it's in great hands. But Lauren has had some things she's had to deal with. But we'll be bringing her back. We absolutely going to be bringing her back.
And if you're here for the event on August,
Yep,
she'll be there.
She's taking the time off. She'll be there. She'll be hosting. Well, but I had some players show up the other day, which I do, and it's funny because they're always asking like what happened to Lauren. And I remember I watched a video recently, and someone was like, "Yeah, I can hear her in the background." And I'm like, "No way." You know what Lauren's
You
voice
must have
is?
been really hard.
No kidding. No,
there.
someone. What happened to Lucky Lauren? And some guy said, "Well, that's her in the background," because apparently she was like in the background of one. And I'm like, Lauren.
Like a roulette video or
Lauren,
what?
it's the same dude. It's the one guy. You know what I mean? Lauren, you got one super fan. No, Lauren has a lot of fans. We love Lauren to death. She has grown up in this business, but go.
And with the new house, we were thinking of maybe possibly, not guaranteeing, that she could maybe deal one of the videos, and we'll give her a mic, and we'll kind of have like a trio type of thing.
Lauren, live from Vegas? Yeah.
So, yeah, she's still with us. Just
We love Lauren, yeah.
Life has been chaos.
So we have this online. We have this online training platform coming at dealers.school, and if you're interested in the online training platform, anyone who goes to dealers.school. So if you hear this, because I know that I get emails every single day about the online platform. We have Blackjack and Craps coming up. It should be launched in the first or second week of August. No more BS. We are literally. I have our development team has been working on it literally nonstop. So we'll have Blackjack and Craps, and then we'll be adding Roulette, Baccarat. We're adding everything else. If you're interested in all of that and you sign up early, we are going to have a really deep discount incentive program. You'll be considered the first adopters of that online learning platform. And we're going to offer the rare lifetime access to that as well. So one of the things will be lifetime access. We're playing around with the discounts, but it's going to be about half off, give or take, depending on what the classes are. But we're going to limit that a little bit. But if you're interested at all and you just want information, you'll also have the benefit of getting information, knowing when that goes live, and getting it's going to be cheap, relatively speaking.
Christopher Burke Trucking gave us $5 super chat.
Thank you, sir.
And gave us a philosophical question. He said,
It's big.
boxer briefs or thongs?
Oh God. Here's the thing. The truth is this, dude. We all wish we could execute on the thong, dude.
No.
There's not a man alive that'd be like, listen, I want to own that. Come on.
Listen.
But most of us see ourselves in the thong, and then we start second guessing our reality.
Boxer
you know
briefs
what I mean?
is where it is. They're
Really?
comfortable. The thing is,
Listen.
even if you could pull off a thong,
Listen.
they're not as comfortable as you think.
I just want to feel sexy in a thong, buddy. No, I really, you know what? Underwear has just not been the most pressing issue for me over time, other than not sweating my ass off kind of
Not
thing,
sweat-
or sweating my balls off.
Boxer
ahead.
briefs are great for that.
I don't like I think I like boxers at this age. They're just more comfortable to slip on, and you know what I mean. I mean, just make sure the slit is closed. That's all.
Mike Wayner said, "Hi, David. What
Hey,
is the
bud.
biggest tip from a customer you've ever received?"
Me personally, that's a tough one. Me personally, not the most. I used to have some really great tippers, very consistent tippers. But I've been part of a crew that got 50,000. So I think that we can qualify that. So we had a guy that came back to a crap table, and as much as I would like to say a benefit, it was really for like the whole craps pit, so to speak. So it was somebody who won a pretty decent sum of money, and came back and tipped on a dead crap table. He thought that would be the least impactful way of doing it. Wanted to leave money. We happened to be dead, and he was like, "Hey, count this out. That's for the crew." I used to. I've seen me personally. I would say, I know of a few 10,000s. Give or take. I think maybe a 15,000, maybe 15,000. I had a guy one time won $300,000. And then he went on to win $1 million over the course of the weekend. And I thought for sure he was going to stiff the table. And then he came back the very last day, and he's like, I'm up $1 million. Here you go. Here's 15,000 of it. I forget what it was. It might have been 17,000, give or take. But I remember him he had one of these purses, these cash purse thing. He was just rolling chips out onto it, and I was so embarrassed for him, dude. The whole conversation he had with us was just so absurd about how he was going to spend it, and meanwhile he's trying to come up with because for him winning $1 million and tipping 15,000, like for an average dealer, by the way, that is really the whole time he was there, he just doesn't tip. He plays $300,000 at a time, doesn't leave any money, doesn't bet anything for the dealers, and so I'll be honest. I was one of those people who really just didn't care most of the time. I I never took it personally. It's his business, his money. He can do what the hell he wants with it. And so, he would find himself with me. A lot of people that are like that, by the way, would end up on my side because other dealers would give him a little round eye, would give him a little, would look at them differently or talk to them differently and be sarcastic. I never did that. I just wanted people to have fun. It didn't really matter to me. I knew I was making a good living anyways, regardless. And there's lots of those, And people have different reasons for tipping, not tipping. Maybe the rest of his experience sucked, and he was just trying to grind out. But over the course of these couple days, there was a lot of people were talking about that he was doing really well on dice, and he was making all this money, and he's betting on sort of the high end, which you don't see that. You see guys bet on the high end, but not over several days and winning consistently like that. And then he comes to the table and he has this conversation with me, like where we become best friends. And the whole time I'm thinking, man, you're a cheap bastard, dude. You're like literally the person I would not be friends with. Like but he had come to think of me as like his buddy for having dealt at this action, and I was happy for him. But come on, dealers at that time, by the way, there was no minimum wage. We made less, potentially, and everything else was sort of on tips. I forget what I was making, maybe $2-3 an hour. I'm not really sure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, LV DJen,
Mhm.
it doesn't have a question, but he did use his memory chat. He
Okay.
said, I will be coming to sign up soon. Smiley
Fantastic.
face.
At the school, yeah. It's amazing how many of you are coming from out of state to be part of the school program. It's really fantastic. You can't ever imagine. I wrote an email today to a professional peer, it just sort of like just even where the school has gone. 5 years ago, 800 square feet, give or take, on Flamingo. You know what I mean? Entertaining 20, 25 students. Now we're gonna have this huge footprint at fashion show. Our school is moving in the near future. We don't want to announce it too much. We haven't inked the deal, but it's coming. We're working out the rest of it, but it's been a marvelous few years. Amazing. Go. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have
Mm-hmm.
a couple things here. Brennan
Yeah.
said, "What is something that annoys you while being the dealer?"
Oh man. The things that annoy dealers the most is string betting. One of those things where there's two things, right? So there's one thing it's called stroking, and the other thing which is straight up just coming up with nonsense. And nonsense is like where you've literally got a sheet in front of you, right? You have your cheat sheet. I won't say you specifically, but just anyone. Okay, here, how about this? We used to have a guy that would come to the table and he had this laminated card with all his bets, and not like the laminated presses, like the actual presses, but just some weird screwed up way to make these bets, and either place bets and come bets. Like I used to have a guy that would bet $7 in the come, $5 in the DC, $11 on the place bet, some nonsense like this. And then he had it figured out to like $3 or $4 conversions, and this card helped him through which of these three bets to have working at what levels. I mean, that's just stroking, because that guy has never made any money. He might have gotten super lucky and just and made $10 one day, but for the most part, that's just stroking. There's nothing. So if you come up to a table and you've found a way to kind of middle some nonsense and make $2, and it creates a lot of work. Like let's say $2 a roll. Even the Iron Cross is considered not so much a stroking bet, because it's very simple. You're 5, 6, and 8 in the field. You're gonna win $2, and then you're gonna lose on a 0.7, and then you're gonna be sad and you're gonna be depressed. But then you incorporate that with like this hopping and that hopping, and ultimately there's no real money to be won. That's stroking for dealers. So dealers will get annoyed at those kinds of things when there's a lot of work and you like occupy all their headspace. The next one is string betting. And there's a lot of dealers who don't like being told how to do stuff, even when you are trying to help them, and I get that as well. But string betting is where you put down, let's say you want 5 different bets, and you put down one bet at a time, and you explain to the dealer in explicit detail what you want done with that bet, or you put it in front of each place bet. Now, granted, if you're running into a dealer who is literally in the remedial service and needs a little help, especially if you have an odd, what's that? He's on, there's some short bus dealers out there, okay? Just so you know, okay? If I canceled, is that a bad one? But, and you've come across dealers who are new and stuff like this. You're trying to help them out, and they either hopefully they don't get pissed. Hopefully they're just nice and willing to work with you. And when you go up to a dealer, give them the luxury of, them being the expert first, and say, hey, I would like these bets, and you can explain it to them. This is the total amount of money I need. I would like these bets. And then if you find that they're looking at you in a very stumped way and they're not making progress, then of course you can split it up. I don't mind that too. There's a lot of people come up with non-standard bets, especially with place bets. This is what I want on the floor. And then once we get it, once the dealer gets them, we understand. But if you string bet, if you bet, I know people, especially with the DC or lay bets, will string bet the lay bets one at a time. And then literally like, dude, 5 minutes later, we're getting to the last. Just set them all down. Tell me what you want. And if I can't figure it out, I will work it. I will literally divide it up in the come and ask you. That should be every dealer's go-to should be, if someone gives me 7 red chips, I'm going to create piles, right? If I don't understand exactly how to work with it, I'm going to literally create a pile. I'm going to spread it out in the come and ask them how they want me to divvy it up. And then they can just tell me. But if you're setting down 1 chip at a time, that's one of those things that will annoy dealers. There you go. That's a non-short answer to a short question. There you go. Bam.
Someone asked, did I hear you correctly in the past, David, that
Yes.
you were in the military?
I was in the military. I was 7th Infantry Division. I went there originally. I went to Fort Benning, and I was supposed to be a dragon gunner, but I didn't score as well as the dragon gunner required. My MOS was 11 Bravo Charlie 2. So I did basic AIT at Fort Benning, Georgia. I saw things with golf balls that I will never be able to get out of my head. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who's been there knows exactly what I'm talking about. And then my main duty base was Fort Ord 7th ID, Fort Ord, California. And then I eventually sort of became RTO, that kind of thing. RTO radio tel. Those guys with the big radio on their back, we still had those, and Prick 77. Although I still got to play around with the Dragon Gun and Dragon sights. So I had the biggest, fattest gun minus, artillery rounds, that kind of thing. How about that?
Minus artillery.
It was great being an anti-tank gunner, by the way, or going through that, especially now when I see, because we used to train the Dragon Gun on these old T-55 tanks, which Russia has pulled out of storage. So it's very interesting to see kind of those, moving around in the battlefield. These are the very tanks we used to sort of, work on knocking out.
Someone asked, do you still have to be vaccinated to become a dealer?
No, most places no. Some places yes.
It
Some
depends.
places it depends. Some places want to see that you have been vaccinated in the past, like there's no current vaccination. Some of them have given that up. I think most of them are at the point where, you know what I mean? Like, listen, you got to move on with life. We all got to work and do stuff. So, I mean, for them, it's about getting employees. So, yeah, vaccination is no longer too big. I think there's a few properties that I've heard of, one specifically, a very top-end property that wants to see either a vaccination card or new vaccination. But apart from that, it's not a thing.
Someone said, do you guys still go live on Twitch? No, the only reason is because Twitch's rules, TS,
Yeah.
whatever their thing is called,
Yeah.
has been a little weird. So we can't do like what we
No
usually
more
do.
casino stuff, basically. They
Yeah.
just banned all the casino stuff. So
There
yeah.
is some new platforms. So there are some new platforms. I will talk to Alex about maybe coming back, but we'll kind of announce.
I've
those
heard of a
things.
thing called Threads.
Threads is not for live streaming though.
Oh, really?
That-
You can't do live streaming on that?
No.
It's just a way to screw over Elon,
yeah, basically.
basically. Everybody's
Yeah, there's some new platforms, but we'll kind of announce
Anyone-
things as we go.
anyone not happy with their Tesla, dude, is literally going out now and creating a Threads account. You bastard. All right, what do you got?
Someone asked, every time I use my player's card, I lose overall. When I don't use it,
You seem
I
to
get
win.
a lot of bonuses.
Uh,
What are your thoughts on that?
I used to think the same exact thing. Especially there's this one casino I used to go to, and I won't mention that it was Arizona Charlie's specifically. I won't want to, because it would be like, dude, I would get more comps just sitting and playing and waiting for some guy to come up and talk to me, and then it was like, then I started using my card. It was such a grind. In fact, I even found out that on some machines, especially some of the Keno machines I like to play, because they were older, they had this defective card counter. I would say card counter, point accumulator. So I was getting like 1/10 the points that I would get, on any other machine. So I was being screwed. But I have to say, like, the casino has no incentive not to want to see you, spend money and win. Like, there's no, especially with slots. The Theo on slots is so high that I just don't see I mean, if you're superstitious, like I know people that don't. I have a friend of mine who will not give up his card at a table game because that is a big no-no for him. He feels like, the dice have ears. He doesn't want the dice to know that he's there, and he just like, don't speak my name at the table, and because the dice gods hate me, and as if I'm here anonymous, I have a better chance of winning. I mean, he will go on forever about, but the minute he sits on a slot machine, dude, I got to get these points, man. I got a buffet I got to earn. I mean, I just don't think that there's no incentive for it to be either way. There's no person up there with a pedal. God, I have this couple that I met, and they were here for NASCAR many years ago. As a Boulder Station, used to be Boulder Station was one of my favorite places to play Keno. They have these older style slant top machines that I really enjoyed, and it's very open, airy. I could run one way to the bathroom and the other way to Burger King, real easy. I could get right in the middle. It was a fantastic place to play. But anyways, I meet this couple one day, and I happened to sit down between them because the machine I wanted was literally right between them on both sides. And they didn't mind me being in the middle at all. In fact, I think they were like, this is going to be a delicious sandwich later.
Hey, yo.
I know. So I sit down between this couple, and when you get, by the way, I love unique people. Even if they're crazy, I think it makes it even more interesting sometimes because you get these like really great stories and you have these really interesting interactions that you wouldn't have already had Anyways, they were there for NASCAR. I didn't know they were together until they started talking, and they literally started talking as if I was like there with them. Like they, I come in and nothing changed. At that point I might have gone home with them, or might have already gone home with them, and they were there for NASCAR, and they couldn't believe that I wasn't there for NASCAR. And I'm like, then they figured out that I was local because once I was able to believe, they talked more than me. Yeah, I couldn't get a word in. So they realized I was local, and they're like, "No way, you live here and you get to go to NASCAR all the time," and they're just this whole thing about NASCAR. Anyways, so they would talk to each other about when do you think they were going to let them win. And I'm like, well, what do you mean, when are they going to let you win? Well, at some point they're going to get tired of us sitting here talking shit about their casino, and they're going to either want to pay us or take our money. Like, there was some dude up there, and they were completely convinced that that's how it worked. Like, when the casino was ready, some guy was going to like go down and randomly push a button and be like, you know what, you're going to win right now. And they're like, you know what, they like that person. There was this woman who was pregnant, who was kind of walking through the casino, and she was like, I bet any seat that lady sits on, she's going to win, dude. They're going to want to pay that baby right now. They're going to want to get her in. You know what I mean? They were completely convinced that it was completely rigged. It's just not. It's just, it can't be. You know what I mean? It can't be.
Alan Toy asked,
Uh-huh.
how do casino markers work, and can any player use them?
A casino marker, like a marker for credit?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just apply. You got to have cash in the bank. You got to have good credit and cash in the bank. Getting casino credit is a little different than regular credit. You know what I mean? Regular credit, they look at your FICO score, stuff like this. A lot of casinos want to see if you got real money, depending upon how high you go, obviously. You can also put cash in the cage and use markers against cash in the cage. So you can make a deposit. So let's say you put 10 grand or whatever the case is. You can borrow against that money, and then you can pay it off when before you leave. But if you want the really big sums, yeah, the criteria is a little different. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. You can't be like, well, I can afford to pay you back. It has to be, we don't have to send Guido down to knock your kneecaps off, dude. This cash got to be ready to go. You know what I'm saying?
Someone asked, why don't blackjack dealers get to sit down like poker dealers? Just
They
curious.
they do get to sit down. There's what they call ADA tables, or under the Americans with Disability Act. So you'll see tables where people can sit and play blackjack. That's always a thing. Almost every single casino pit in Vegas, especially, will have a few of these. And if they're of any size, they'll have a few of these. And at those tables, the dealers can sit down. But I think realistically, if you've ever been a dealer, as much as sitting down sounds great, being able to walk the game, going left to right, is easier to deal. If you're sitting at these tables, you have to pivot your body, and that's what makes it tough. In fact, even for craps dealers especially, I have been a crap dealer for a very long time, because I have not, and I stress this when I teach, is to try and not to turn your torso, to try to stay forward of the game and just lean forward and back as much as possible, and interact with the game that way. It's much easier on your body over time. If we have an ADA game at Casino Quest, and I tell you, like, when we have a large group, our dealers don't like to be on that game for more than a short period of time, because it can be really arduous. It makes the game much more difficult to deal. What do you got?
I got tons of questions.
Really?
Just scrolling through.
It's fantastic, because if we get past 7, because at 7 o'clock I was supposed to meet with Timmy, so right after 7, it's genius. So then Timmy's canceled.
It's 7:06 already.
Oh, wow! See, he's on the stream. Timmy, we'll get to you later, buddy.
For anyone who doesn't know, we are doing a giveaway at 200 likes for that coin right there. Not that specific coin.
No, maybe. But yeah, we're going to give away our very own. It's really a beautiful coin. You can't really see in this, but it's great.
Here, hold it.
Yeah, it's got really fantastic. So it's like a koi pond. It's really detailed, and then the back is, there's a whole Vegas theme. It's a little smudgy, but the coin itself is really fantastic. We found a new company that's going to be making some new coins for us, but yeah. All right, where are we at? Go.
Let's see. There is a lot of questions.
Wow, really? That's fantastic.
I'm just trying to find some questions
I
that
thought I would be here
repeaters.
talking to myself.
Some people have repeated the questions thinking that we weren't going to get to them.
Really?
So I'm trying to make sure they're not repeaters.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Can I just say yes, yes, no, yes?
I don't know if you would want to answer like that.
I know.
That might put you in a
That
hole
could
type
be
of thing.
it could be tough. That could be tough. Wow, even the Timmy reminder came up. But the later I think I go, the better it is for him anyway. So that's perfect. I would be here all day with you guys, man. My limits are Dennis, dude. Dennis is my limit, dude.
My limit is
He's my
I'm
limiter.
hungry. I
Well,
haven't
go
ate
eat some damn
anything.
food. Get a snack. All right, go ahead. What do you got? Did you find? I thought you said we had a lot of questions. No.
We do.
Oh, okay. Well, let
When
them.
you were a dealer, did you prefer busy, crowded tables or dead tables? with 1 or 2
100% busy,
players?
crowded tables all the time. I was the anomaly of the crab stealing. It's amazing because you'll see people, you wonder how graveyards stay full, right? Sometimes some casinos break your properties, especially if there's money involved. But sometimes graveyards don't stay so they're full. It's harder to get people on graveyard. But man, graveyard and day shift, people love working those shifts because they're basically slower, less players, less money. I worked swing shift almost my entire. There were only a few spare times when I was on a day shift. Once was at Gold Coast. I had no choice, and then much later on, I was hired a day shift. Strangely enough, and then I went on swing shift. But I love the day goes by. I became a crap dealer because of the way that and how much interaction there is on the table. I can imagine if I was a blackjack dealer, maybe I don't know. I love just absolute engagement, dude. Time goes by so fast when you're going. Every hour is filled, and you have new people and new things to do. I want to stay busy all the time. I don't want to sit on a dead game if possible. Yeah.
Okay, so someone asked, what is your favorite low buy-in system for roulette?
Low buy-in system. Oh, dude, just bet the outside, man. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
No, you know what I like? That
What?
hopscotch one.
Hopscotch, really?
Yeah, hopscotch. What's the one where you go from? See, this is the thing. I don't keep track of the names of the system. What's the one where you start on the outside, you an even money bet, then you do 2 dozens?
Yeah, that's hopscotch.
Hopscotch. Love
And then you
hopscotch.
just keep adding
Yep.
a unit, yeah.
Because then you're creating opportunity. You're not falling prey to this idea that roulette's anything but what it is. I keep talking to people, and I know that we have a lot of roulette players, and we work a lot. There's some really wonderful systems out there. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of really great ways to play roulette. Coming from the world of dealing, there's not a lot of roulette winners. Should I say that? Is that it's
That's a controversial take right
yeah,
there.
controversial. There are people that can win lots of money, and I know many of you have been like, "Well, I've gone to a casino, I won a roulette," and that's true. There's lots of great ways. First of all, comping systems, 100%. It's a great game to sit and play for a long period of time and hang out and earn comp points and do all that. And we have quite a few strategies that play to that. But for me, it just doesn't have the same opportunity as craps. And of course, being a crap dealer, I'm quite a bit biased, but.
A couple great ones I
Mhm.
like is Ride or Die, which is just you try to
Ride or
hit
Die.
3 dozens or two
Yep.
to 2 to 1 bets,
Yep.
3 times in a row.
Uh-huh.
One I really like.
Yep.
It's not a grapefruit, but I really enjoy it. It's called Squid Games.
Oh,
Squid
yeah.
Games.
I like Squid Games.
You start with $50.
Yep.
You put $10 in 000, and then a 1-to-1 bet. If it's 000, you walk away. You win, you walk away.
Yep.
If it is a 1-to-1 bet, you're going to take that money, put it on 2 dozens. If one of the dozens hits, then you split that into as many numbers on $6 as you can get. Now, you can't do that everywhere, of course. I wouldn't know the units. You would need Alex to tell you like the higher denomination units and that type of stuff. I just know that it's a fun system to play.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's looking at you on your phone over there.
I know. I'm trying to stay abreast.
Abreast?
Yeah. Okay, move on. There's a lot of being unfiltered. For those of you who are on our Patreon channel, congratulations. That's one way not to get canceled. You know what I'm saying?
Would dealers rather get a hand in or bets for tips? Does
Bets.
it matter?
Bets. It matters. Bets. Just bet them. Even if the hand in ends up, even if you're just a ridiculously generous hand inner, is that a word? Hand inner? I would absolutely bet for the dealers because then it shows them being in the game, and that their expectation is much higher that they'll have a greater reward at the end if you just keep them in action. So hand-ins tend to be less. Let's be real. Even if you're like a 10%er or 15% or whatever the case is, And I know that they're, in fact, Pro Crap sent me a thing. I've been meaning to follow John. Is this from John? Does it
No.
say? But I know he sent me this thing because they were having a debate, I guess, in his thing. But I will tell you that there was almost every single dealer would much rather you bet for them while you're playing. And think about this: like in the course of you playing, if you're betting for them, it's really putting the dealer on your side. If you wait to the very end and the dealer doesn't know until the very end they provided all this great service or whatever the case is, or didn't provide service, um, then you don't know what to expect. And also, like if you're betting for them, then they're going to go out of their way early on and know that, hey, this is a tipper. This is someone who's going to take care of me. I can provide extra service, and you know what I'm saying. So there's lots of incentives to bet while you're playing. And there's not a single dealer alive that will tell you. And if they are, they're silly. There's a few King Georges in Las Vegas that were like Kerry Packer, who used to just hand in a shit ton of money, and you knew that was a thing. So like that's different. You're not handing in $200,000. You're going to be handing in whatever the change is if you happen to win. And then if you lose, you're probably not handing in a whole lot. But if you had bet while you were losing or at different points and intervals, it's interesting. I play Keno, and when I hit over a certain amount of money as my machine's going, I will cash it, go to the cashier, and I will give her usually 5%, sometimes 10%. So if I hit a few of these, then I go to 10%. So once I get to a certain threshold, then I go up and I give them a greater percentage, which is a little high, I understand, but it's being a dealer all my life, I realize that they make all their money on tips, that kind of thing. But I know that I'm going to probably burn that money back into the machine. And so if I wait to the very end to give the money, there won't be any money left. I mean, let's be real. So I will cash out at certain intervals and share that with them and say, hey, I'm winning right now, but I might not win at the end. And at the end, if I don't have anything for them, I don't have anything. But at least I sort of see myself paying for my spot. Here's my spot. I'm taking over this machine. Because, it's interesting, when I was a dealer, I would look out at the number of spots and I would have 8 spots or 6 spots, or how many people are playing with me. And, I have one person who's a stiff, and I'm hoping that stiff gets the hell off, and another person comes that's generous, and so I have all generous people around the machine, around the game, whatever the case is, and so I have a better chance of making money. And that's how, believe it or not, that's how these, like a Dottie's and these types of plays, they see it as well. Like if all your machines are filled with stiffs, you're not gonna go home. You're not gonna make a very good living that day. And you start quantifying, people. When they see me come in, they know I'm good for, X amount of money. You know what I mean? They know that at least at some point I'm gonna give them something for that day. They won't go home empty-handed. So I like to be that. I look at it. That's my sort of perspective or take on the tipping. Go ahead.
Duracell 8 says, have you ever discussed the upcoming Craps for the Cure event in November? That's Pro Craps' event.
Have I discussed it yet? I mean, not really.
I'm not sure what you mean by discuss. If you mean discuss with John, we
Yes.
have.
Yeah, we've talked. We have. It's all worked out. I mean, he's going to be, I think, 2 days. It's a weird time because we have a Formula One is coming the week after, and literally everything is sold out here in Vegas. I mean, it's amazing. If you haven't already booked a room for the 16th and 18th of November, you're probably looking at absurdly high room tickets. So people are like they're either coming the week before or the week later. But yeah, so John's going to take up that table and that final table and the thing, and we're going to help him raise as much money as he can.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Someone asked favorite roulette system. All both roulette systems I gave you earlier. That's those are my favorites.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Daddy David's favorite system is.
No, I like Squid Games and I like hopscotch. For me, those are fun. I can start with a little bit of money.
Someone said House Timmy. Timmy's good.
Wow. See this, Timmy, buddy? You are on everybody's mind. Timmy is fantastic. I hope he's fantastic. You know what I mean? He was just in Tokyo last week, so that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
He was on a train to Tokyo when I talked to him.
What's your favorite crap strategy?
My favorite crap strategy is, if I have the money, it's literally triple Lux, without a doubt. It's literally power set up to go to 32 across. If I can find a $5 table, whatever the minimum is, and power press the hell out of it. $500, 18 bullets. I mean, Other than that, I would say I'm really liking the Lagerman. So it's squeeze play with the four, starting with the half of the 4 and 10. So those are my favorite starts. You know, Brian, crapshooter, Hawaii crapshooters, Brian, and I saw this again. Color Up did a thing on the sisters with the sisters. It's really just it's squeeze play, but you're taking half of your, you know what I mean? So you still actually get out the same if it comes like that. So you bet the inside, right, at double, and then when anything hits, you take off half the sisters. So whatever the sisters are. So if it hits a 5 and 9, you go back down to the minimum bet on the 5 and 9, and you take some of your money off, right? The problem is that if another 5 and 9 hits, right,
Yeah.
then you have less opportunity to get out. You need that 6 and 8 to hit next, ideally, right? Whereas squeeze play, you get all the numbers, and then it's 2 hits and you get out completely. You follow?
I personally still. I mean, there's
But
there's some great systems.
that's like the newest one I think that people within the craps community are talking about. But I think it's an interesting way. I love how the simplest systems are like the most popular, and that's how it should be. Some of these systems are so absurd. I mean, I would say, okay, let me not use absurd. There's too many moving parts, especially craps game already has a lot of moving parts, right? People say like, hey, why never come on a craps table? Well, we can go over that, but then it's the odds. Like you get true odds that's anchored to a terrible bet, but if you have the point and you're the shooter, why not take the odds, David? Because if you're taking max odds and it pays true, and you're the shooter, you already have that pass line. So you're already stuck on that pass line. Why not just do that? Well, because the truth is, there's a lot of moving parts. So like if you have your numbers up there where you can see them, and you have a decent dealer managing the placements for you, it's so much easier to manage your money and control sort of the narrative of the game, right? And so that's the other part of it, is that some of these systems, there's too many moving parts, too many other things to keep an eye on or configure, and it's too easy to get lost in the game, especially when the game starts moving quickly. Which is why, for me, these place bet systems and the idea of regression very quickly and getting your money out, playing with the casino's money, but also a system that, again, doesn't have as many moving parts. It's literally press or power press collect. I had a couple the other day that just could not wrap their head around the power press, and so all you do then is you say press and collect. You make it very easy, because ultimately that's a system that's going to stick with you. All right, go ahead.
I still like the ultimate squeeze play. Where you
Yeah.
start on the inside, then at the 4 and 10.
Yeah.
Lagerman's great. But Triple X is. I mean, every system we go into goes into Triple X for a reason. I just like squeeze play because first off, I try to
and
get
triple
out.
Lux is power collect, right? Because you
Yeah.
want to leave as much opportunity. And if you ask me, the most money I've ever seen won every single time, it's literally a power presser who's caught a hand. That's it. Those are the wins. And so you surviving on the table long enough to get to that roll at some point, and so that's the key, is literally ass in chair until you get a run on the blackjack table, you get a string of numbers on a roulette table, or you have someone that comes up and literally rolls 30 minutes, 40 minutes. That's the key.
Christopher Bertrucking gave us a
Yeah.
$5 super chat. Says, "Will there ever be a new Casino Quest chip?"
There is. Yeah, we are working on this. I think it may be a new design. So we have this design. Jet actually came up with our DGen Joker dude, and it's fantastic. He hand drew it. It was literally a stroke of genius, and we want to incorporate that on one of our next chips. But we're working with this new company, so we're gonna test them on this one for now because we have all the and then see how they can do. We might, we could probably send over the Joker and do one side of the Joker. I don't know how we'd incorporate that, but
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
There will be a coin. It's just a matter of when, not so much if.
yeah.
I guess Duracell 8 asked the same question as a super chat, even though I answered it earlier. So he asked the same thing about the craps liqueur, but then he had a second super chat.
Yeah.
That says, "What do you think of last year's craps for liqueur?"
Fantastic. There is a good deal of money. See, I'll be honest with you. I love John. I love his team. I love everything he does. I love the fact that this is a big thing for him. I also think, keep to the working hours. I know that their goal was to literally show some endurance, and they wanted to do it 24 hours. But from a quickly critical standpoint, I would say, focus on the times that people are there, and you can interact with an audience. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that other stuff is great. and it's it's fantastic to see they're willing to put in all this time. But I think he overworked himself needlessly. And this next one, we're going to it's going to be there for the working hours. We're going to keep it to. But I'll tell you this, it's just interesting. I love his intensity. I love John's, and I loved how John sort of deconstructs the game. I think he's brought kind of a unique voice to the craps community that is that I've enjoyed. Yeah.
Neo gave us $5 super chat. Says love the I think it's Hawaii Craft Shooters split the sisters. It's what I use mostly during DiceCon. I'll be back in Vegas for the CQ meetup.
So you know what's great is you get out at least some of your money with one hit. You know what I'm saying? You just need one number. So yeah, good.
Electric. I'm not gonna say the rest of his name because I'm gonna butcher it. Daddy David, how often do you hit the gym, and how much can you bench?
I have not been. So I hurt my back a bit ago, and I haven't. But I used to be able to bench up to 315. I'm at the 270-ish right now, give or take. But you'll see. So I'm going into a little clinic. We got to do a little test tomorrow. Hopefully they don't reach up too far. But yeah, I hurt my back about a month ago, so I had to take like 2 weeks off, and then we've been moving into the house, so it's been a bit slow. But typically, we're getting back now. We joined this another gym near the house. So, but yeah, I used to go 5 days a week. Now some of my top weights have gone down, but I used to regularly bench about 300, give or take, something like this.
Someone gave us an idea. Said cakes and pies coin.
Oh, that'd be so great, dude. I love that. Oh God, cakes and pies.
Oh, let's see. Maybe a Gone roulette setups, chips and all.
Huh?
I'm not sure
A
what
Gone?
that means. Gone, like Gone. Said maybe. So I'm gonna read it exact
Okay.
word for word. Maybe a Gone roulette setup, chips and all. Take my money.
How about I just take your money? We'll call it a day. Yeah, okay, well, we'll come back and revisit. Maybe they had a little hiccup. Okay, what do you got?
We have a $2 super chat. This is
Fantastic.
not a question, but they did say they put a little sticker with the dude saying, "Hey you."
Hey, you. How you doing, guys? By the way, you have no idea how much. Hey, we can talk about it because it's coming, and I hope you guys will enjoy this. But let's be clear. All these building up and everything that's happened before now, my little dream has always been to talk. I know it's stunning. A lot of you are like, "What? No way."
No way.
No way. But I would love to have, and I want to focus on the good stuff as much as possible. I want to focus on all the wonderful things that people that are either coming to Vegas or about Vegas. I mean, I don't want to focus on any negativity, but people come here, maybe not no negativity, but for the most part, I want to focus on the things that we enjoy. And I am going to start a show. So here's what's happening. Starting next week, from Wednesday at 4 o'clock, I will be at Ellis Island playing Keno. Yes, we're going to be playing Keno. And then I don't know how we're going to do the podcast. So followed by the podcast somehow.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe from
the
there.
first one might be a little bit of
Little weird.
hiccups.
But we are now developing a live show at the Yard. And here is the most wonderful thing. We are going to have, if you show up and you're one of ours, there's going to be some free beer involved. There's going to be some free, or something free. The Yard is literally hosting this. So we're going to try to make something free available to, whoever's a fan. If you come and you say, "Hey, I'm with Casino Quest," or "I'm here to see David," and I want to have, so here's the thing. I know it's crazy, but interestingly, I have this weird, let's just say this. There's so many people in this business that are so focused on the math, for example, or they're so focused on like these little details that most of us really don't care. Like, I don't care how the slot machine works. I just want to win. I want to play something that is exciting, that keeps me in my chair, and that's a goal. At the end of the day, please don't tell me what the theoretical. I'm not that guy. There's lots of, and me and Alex are both on the same wavelength here. We want to play games that are fun. We want to have fun, and if you're coming to Vegas, like, that's literally the caveat. So I get asked about systems all the time, what I like to play, because I want to win, obviously. But I go on Tilt. I can be a huge hypocrite sometimes when I start to play, especially if I get a few beers in me. And I of course, as you know, I like playing Keno, one of the worst games in the casino. But I don't want to know that. You know what I mean? I want to know that every time I sit down and hit the button, I have a chance to walk out with, you know what I mean, some big fat prize. And I want my show to be that. I want to have people that are focused on sort of the big things that we come. You know what I mean? The big, wonderful things that we come to see in Vegas. And there you go. What do you think? So anyway, so we're going to have, it's going to be mid-August. It's going to be the very first one. And I'm hoping I can pull it off. I'm a little nervous. You know what I mean?
It's going to be an iterative process.
It's a big stage for me. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not the biggest stage. It's like, 100 people, maybe at the most. But we're hoping that you guys, come out because we're trying to have it at 4. So we're gonna pivot from the slot part of it, and then we're gonna pivot to this. So I'm hoping you guys, when you guys come out, you'll be able to share that with us. You know what I'm saying?
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Go.
Christopher Bertrand gave
Yeah.
us $5. Says Dennis,
That guy
is there
is
any better
loaded.
restaurant than Taco Bell? Just asking.
Oh
Yes,
my God!
lots.
You just hit a nerve,
Lots.
dude. You may be deleted from our channel, buddy. Don't delete him. He's loaded, bro. You can't delete Christopher Bird.
Well,
Yes, sir. Just say yes and
he-
call it a day,
no,
dude.
no.
He hates Taco Bell with a passion, dude. If it wasn't for that Chihuahua, he would be completely devastated because he's a big fan of the
But-
Chihuahua.
I know Christopher Bertrand likes to mess around, but if you're actually asking for a good taco spot, my favorite place to go to is Frijoles and Frescas.
He likes the
They're-
beans,
they're,
dude.
They're great.
The beans don't do me very, the beans.
Yeah,
the
but you had
beans and
other
the
things.
squirrels.
You had the
I love Frijoles. It's great. Yeah, it's a great place to eat and then continue right to the bathroom immediately after, as with most Mexican
if you're
food.
not David and have gas problems, you should be fine.
It's called frijoles, dude, which is beans, dude. Beans just light me up. Go. What do you got?
Joe asks, here's a question unrelated to gaming.
Okay.
After all the adversity, how did you come find a home in gaming industry? What advice would you
Dude.
give to those trying to find their professional home?
Man, this is a tough one for me. So my life before Vegas and start of Vegas just really sucked. It's so hard to kind of put this in perspective, but the greatest thing for gaming was that the bar is low, and it's low, but yet it's still a technical trade. It doesn't take all that long, and it doesn't it doesn't require all that much skill to become a dealer. The great thing about being a casino dealer is a couple things. One, it actually pays fairly well. So like all the other crap that was really hard to do, like landscaping or cleaning garbages, or I've been a dishwasher, worked at Burger King, mopping, you name it. I mean, I've done quite a few jobs. Being a dealer, you're playing a game and you're getting paid, very well. The other thing, especially for somebody like me that had a very difficult time in very ordered situations. I mean, it's you go to work, and as much as it seems like it's very ordered, which it is, because you have to show up at a certain time, you got to go to a certain table, the cards have to be dealt a certain way, but it's like you and your team. It's like you and your team, and you put on your apron, you just do that, and no one interferes with that, right? It's not like some asshat is behind you trying to second guess how you're making a sandwich, because it's a flippin' sandwich, dude. You know what I mean? Here you are in the casino, and here are the rules. And if you do the rules a certain way, there's nothing else. That's it. You complete that circle. It's end, and then you go home. You take your apron off, and you go home. And there's no homework. There's no one second. There's no one calling you at home. No one asking you. Sometimes you get asked to stay late, but so what? But it's like it's your own little world, and it made my transition from all the other nonsense a real easy one. I mean, you can't even imagine. I fell in love with dice, by the way, after. I will, I want to say that, I met this game, and, I when I first started learning dice at a school, I was downtown. I had already learned blackjack and what I thought was roulette, but I probably didn't really learn roulette. But, I basically failed my audition at the Golden Gate. And so, I slowly evolved into the dice dealer because, and for me, a lot of it working at the gate was a very interesting introduction because it was a very low end casino at the time. Of course, the gate has become Golden Gate has become something else. But the people were very different than what I had been used to, and the idea that I could be good at something and be left alone to do my job, because back in the day it was dummy up and deal was really was a first for me. There weren't people, trying to provide oversight, which seems sort of a contradiction, right? Because there's cameras, there's surveillance, there's people watching you. But again, if you just do your job exactly as it's supposed to be, and you understand all the rules, because and you just do that, it's done. How do you make a? I literally was held up by my own manager at a damn deli one time. For I don't remember the whole specifics of it, but these things happen at delis. You know what I'm saying? One minute you're making a sandwich, the next minute your manager is pulling a knife at you. You know what I mean? You never know. But those things don't happen at a casino. Like it's not subject to some idiots. I don't know, their point of view, or it's not all this subjectivity. It's just, it is what it is. And if you do that, you can really have a wonderful career. I mean, they're at the top of this game. It's $100,000 job. All right, I see you. Go ahead. What do you got?
Someone asked, what is the date for the Ellis thing? Do we have a solid date yet?
Oh, really? You wanted me to move on from that topic, dude? You were trying to get off? No. But anyways, there you go. Did that answer his question?
I think so.
All right, I'll move on. He tries to keep me moving because I get stuck. Brain gets stuck on certain topics. All right, for the Ellis thing, mid-August, second week of August. So we're still working on it. But for our thing,
Yeah,
oh, our event, or for the Ellis, right?
Ellis.
Ellis is the second week in August. I think it's whatever that Wednesday is. Is gonna be me. Very nervous.
Here, we'll answer a couple more questions, but we're
Yo.
probably going to be wrapping it up here soon.
Oh, good.
We are still waiting for 200 likes. There's 148 likes right now.
Man, what are you gonna do?
So I'm just letting everyone know.
We can give everybody an oof hat. We can do an oof hat.
I'm just letting
I
everybody
think
know.
I have an extra couple oof hats. Does anybody want an oof hat? That's good for 150.
So I'm going to read a couple super chats.
Go.
Communism sucks. That's their name. That's a funny
That's
name.
a fantastic name.
Give
We're in.
us $4.99. It says, a Casino Quest home roulette setup, chips and all. Take my money. Oh, I think they want like us to have like a roulette setup, like where you get the wheel and everything.
Wait for this. We have kits now that we sell with the layouts. We're working on the boxes and the rest of it. So we do have a kit, by the way. It comes with a 10-inch wheel, a ball, all the chips, a Casino Quest layout. You really want to get the roulette mats, dude. The roulette mats, we have the kits with the actual roulette mat, which is basically a 4x2 giant mouse pad with the roulette, and it's spec'd exactly for 39 millimeter chips. And Dennis and I designed it, and it's literally fantastic. We have sold out of them 6 times, and not a single one has been returned or defective that we know of. Well, not returned. They're just fantastic. The quality, the way they work with the chips, because it feels like a real felt. It like comes with it,
And it doesn't move.
It doesn't move.
Now, if you're talking about like an actual table with an actual wheel, that's
going to
tough.
be a little longer down the path. Yeah. The biggest issue for us is weight in getting this stuff delivered to us and delivered to you.
And not only that, but the wheel is a whole process.
A whole wheel,
like the
dude.
actual
Oh,
wheel.
you want like a big full-size wheel? Yeah, by the way, the roulette wheels are managed by Casino Gaming. Like you're not allowed to own them technically. You can buy them on the second hand, like from eBay and stuff, but
one of the reasons we have some is just because of the school.
Yeah, the school there's a special exception for the school or a school to have them, but you have to be licensed school, that kind of thing.
Neo gave us $2. Says 100% agree on the power pressing. The only way to win.
That really is. I mean, there's like I tell everybody that comes and see me. There's many ways to play the game, and I met the one guy who talked about having fun. Yes, there's a lot of ways to have fun on the game, but if it's winning, you got to power press.
Someone asked earlier. I don't know where the question went. They were asking, what is your favorite spot? Stick, second base, third base.
Third base is my favorite base to deal. You're going to be amazed at this answer. And most crap dealers are going to be like, what? No. I enjoy the stick. If you don't already know, the stick guy is the guy talking and running the game. That's me. I liked it so much, and I got so good at the props and stuff. There were days where that actually hurt me, and the supervisor would move me around. There was this one guy who was kind of like a B when it came to making bets and parlaying, and but I love moving the dice. I love talking up the game. I used to have dealers. Oh God, I just selling myself out. I used to work this one shift. I won't tell you where I worked. The people that know me will know, but it's funny because I hated being on a dead game. And I would literally go to great lengths to kind of attract people to the table. And they would be, because all the other dealers, of course, want to sit there and do nothing all day. It makes no sense, dude. But anyways, so I was always the guy. And the minute people would see me come into the crew, they'd be like, oh, my God, here comes David. We have to work today. Oh, my God. And, I would call up the game. And I love the whole carnival barker, like the old school. If you guys played back in the day, if you played downtown, the Horseshoe, all these places, you had these really great stick people with all the great calls and the rhymes. And it seemed like so much more fun. I wanted to be that. Nowadays, it's like they call the number. It's like 3, 6. You know what I mean?
And they're not loud, so sometimes with the loud music, you can't hear what they're
No,
saying.
you can't. I mean, that's also different. If the music is too loud, then it's kind of hard.
Yeah,
But
but there's some places where like the music's like normal volume, but
Yeah.
they're like you can't hear whatever they're saying. They're not loud. They're
No,
not,
I know.
yeah.
I mean, I think literally every player can agree that if you have a really fun stick person making, calls and rhymes and calling out stuff, it makes the game just that much more enjoyable. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole thing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Am I
agree.
alone in that? Can I be alone? No.
No, I agree, 100%.
No.
We got Jack gave us $19.99.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, sir.
Question: Thoughts on craps? Playing the DP hard ways, working out on the come out, throwing a hard way set on the come out, then after the point established, HW off, and then throwing all the
Hard
willy
ways off?
nilly with DPs. Only odds if the 4 and 10 is the point.
Wow.
There's a lot of
That-
information there.
So I hear. So ready? A couple things. Number one, I have played DP strategies. They mostly focused on flat bets because the minute you start laying, you're giving yourself. Remember, once once you get a point, odds are in your favor. That flat bet is the congratulations bet. The lay is where you're giving back, right? Your advantage you're giving away your advantage back to, or giving away your advantage, or giving your advantage back to the casino. So if the point's 4, holy smokes, hold on a second. It's a little okay. So the point's 4, and let's say you have 50 on the don't pass. Points now 4, odds are in your favor, 2-1. You're going to win that don't pass bet. But now the lay is literally you're giving that away to the casino because you have to bet 2 to win 1. I personally would never lay against the 4 and 10, only the 6 and 8, because that's the closest advantage I have. I'm not giving away too much. I know it's a bit contrary, but I mean, there's still more ways of getting the 7 than there is any other number on the table, right? As far as the hardway hedges, I mean, I only bet hardways myself to have fun and parlay them, so I don't see them as a very good hedge. I know there's lots of systems with there's a lay on the 4, you bet the hard 4. Oh God, sorry. Here, move the camera to you for a second because I gotta get this out.
Well, there's a couple of things. Communism Sucks says they wanted a bigger wheel. They wanted a 20-inch wheel. We don't have 20-inch wheels yet, but we're kind of working on that.
I'm good now.
There are some other little kind of miscellaneous questions. Someone asked if we go out to play and what strip casinos we would go to. We're usually not playing on the strip, but if I don't know about David, but for me, if I like to go play craps at Ellis, just because it's cheap crap tables and they're great dealers.
Yep.
I go out of my way for great dealers because there's a lot of there's some local casinos that have $5 tables, but not so much great dealers.
Yeah, Ellis number 1, Palace number 2. And by the way, not because we have relationships with them. We always loved Ellis. I mean, if you're anywhere close to the strip, I mean, dude, the best opportunity for craps is to start low. They're the benefit of starting at higher levels, especially given the nature of the game. 0.7, 0.7 is absurd. No matter how much money you have, unless you have enough money where winning doesn't matter, and you're literally just a chunker, which means you're just putting bets out there and you could care less what happens. I mean, that's different. But if you're trying to win, there's no incentive to start higher. I know people like, well, what are you talking about? You start higher and you have this opportunity to you start at a higher higher level, you get higher rewards. That's really not the thing. If someone shoots and it's numbers because it's always numbers. So if you're on the don't pass, right? And you're on a cold table, it's that flat bet that wins. It's that flat bet, and that flat bet's a grind because that's all it is a flat bet. By the way, when I say flat bet, I mean an even money bet. It's your starting bet on the don't pass. But the way to really maximize is someone walks up and shoots a hand for an hour. It's always about numbers. It's about nothing else. Like I kid you not. You can watch a game for your whole life, which I have. It's always about numbers. The biggest wins, like, those of you that, you get excited. Listen, I get excited. I win 300, 500, 600,000 bucks. Those are all. But the life-changing money comes from someone who rolls for 30 minutes, who rolls for an hour, and then it's about numbers. So if someone rolls 10 sixes and I'm behind by 1 unit, like if you start at $25, I start at $10, I'm one number behind you. That first $25 hit, where you get 35 and go to 60, and I go $10 to 25. I'm sensed when it gets to the end game about the numbers itself. Me and you are both leaving with the same money. It matters not that you started at a higher unit. Now, if you start at 32,000 across, okay, you have probably lost $2 million over the course of your gaming experience. And again, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But if you're talking about a couple units, even $50 versus a $10 game, it doesn't matter at the end if you're power pressing and you're looking for the number. It just doesn't. It's not a thing. The biggest winner I've ever seen on a craps table was a progressive a bettor at the Gold Coast in 1992, give or take, $500, $240,000 exit, and he started with $32 across. Biggest swing winner I've ever. Now, I've seen people, that $300,000 guy, he's in 500,000, wins $1 million. No one cares. He doesn't care. Casino doesn't care. That guy's coming back. He's going to lose all that money. A guy that plays $500 and walks with $240,000, that guy is going and buying stuff for his wife when he gets home. You know what I mean? The casino is probably he's still a $500 player. It's always about numbers. That's it. So play a system that's about numbers. That's all you'll ever hear from me. That's all I've ever seen. And I started in 1991. Oh my God. Anyways, go ahead. What do I got?
We have a super chat
Thank
from
you.
Ryan Russ. Gave us $5.
Thank you,
What are
thank
your
you.
thoughts on triple Lux, but pressing from the inside to the outside, no matter what
Yep.
the number is? Still collecting the third hit of the press numbers.
We have actually worked a kind of like reverse system like that one time. It's tough because clearly, the inside numbers have the better opportunity, but you'll see players get stuck on 4s and 10s. Like he rolled a hand the other day. It was literally not. He couldn't hit my 6 and 8. Of course, we've got a strategy trying to work the 6 and 8, and Dennis is doing nothing but 4s and 10s. So I mean, if it's about numbers and that's what you want to do, then that's what you see, then that's what you do. But I really think all the numbers has the opportunity. But yeah.
That's all the super chats for right now.
Okay.
We do have 179 likes. We're so close to this 200.
Oh my God! Let's stay in it to
21.
win it. We're only taking away from Timmy's time, so it's fine, dude.
Taking away from my 100 time.
Well, I know. We'll go eat at 8. We'll get an extra.
Well, we also have Aaron's to run. That's the other thing.
We do have errands to run. All right. Well, let's give it like 10 minutes, dude. Okay.
Okay,
Well, you can struggle. We'll get you. We're gonna go to this. This is really nice Thai restaurant here in town. It's called We're a Thai. We're over by the Southwest area, and they have like a branch, and we're hoping that it's good. So we're gonna head over there and see. And if it's not good, I have this anonymous reviewer thing, and we'll put it up there and talk a lot of smack about it.
Someone asked,
But it'll be
is
good.
it possible to live in Vegas without a car? I'm heavily considering moving.
You got to live in certain places. You have to be strategically located to live here without a car. I would avoid the southwest area of town. I would avoid the far north area of town. I probably would stay west of the Strip, not too far west. And there are a couple streets, Charleston, Sahara, that run all the way up where bus service is every 15 minutes. You want to be closer within walking distance of those streets. It's a big area, by the way. This is a big area, but you don't want to be on the fringe because it gets a little wonky accessing either someone's breaking in or
I
we're about to
think
be.
I think we're fine.
We're fine. Okay. But just try to stay in the city center. I say don't say the east side that's serviced by the bus, like frequent intervals, can be a little iffy. You know what I mean? So like all other major cities, we have our trouble spots. Let's just say that. Yeah. All right. What else you got?
So Christopher Trucking said, and it's an interesting question.
Uh-huh.
What happened with y'all's relationship with the Strat?
So the guy that we knew at the Strat moved on. And so our relationship there has changed, let's just say. We still love the Strat. Stan's there. He's casino manager. We have some wonderful dealers there. It's still table for table job.
I think the part that a lot of people don't get is
Mhm.
when we have relationships, it's with the people, not so much the
Yep.
casino.
We're all about the people, dude.
And from the outward, it seems like it's a casino, but it's really the people. So if the people move, we follow with.
From the mouth of Babe, dude. I mean, that's really true. David is. I think our team is really focused on the people and the management team and what they can bring. And let's be real. Like when it comes to like especially our community and delivery, if you go into a casino, by the way, and you don't see a lot of $5 games, it's the people, right? The people there made a choice. Listen, we're gonna have $15, $25 games. What hole in the wall casino the other day had a $25 table? Hold on, let me think about it. Was it Excalibur? Wait, where was it that they went and it was all $25 tables? I was stunned. I was shook. I don't even think it was Excalibur. It was somewhere else that like but anyways, like there's literally some dude up there who's like, you know what, we're gonna go with dead tables today. We're gonna go $25 tables, and I don't really care who comes in, doesn't come in. It makes no sense. So we're very focused on the people. That's why I think, for example, station properties, fantastic places to play. Really great people. Every single casino. I know the table game directors at every single one of these properties, and they're all fantastic people. They've all come in this business. They know, they have context. They know what players are looking for. It's a really great place to play. Ellis Island, I mean, amazing, amazing people. They have literally the best people in all their spaces, regardless of their age or anything else. It's literally like, you're the best person, come over here and do this. They literally grabbed the guy that was the El Cortez slot guy, who was famous for having made that slot house the destination. It became, as the El Cortez, not exactly, you know what I mean? The East Fremont El Cortez, right? That's the guy. That guy made El Cortez a destination for slots, and he's now at Ellis, which makes sense. They have Frank at Ellis, they have Steve Sears at Ellis, they have Nick at, they had all these people that are focused on this environment that is, just very positive. That's why I believe. So here's the thing: I'm not going to give anything away, but I believe that Fontainebleau is going to become one of the greatest properties on the planet because they have some really fantastic people. I know a lot of the people that are going over there. They're going after all the best people, not because they're like they got the biggest wins on craps or they have they're supervisors who have locked it down and done all these other nonsense things. They have people who have really generated or fostered a lot of goodwill, from players. And I believe that those people are going to create a culture there unlike anything else that currently available in this town. Why do we all look back? Any dealer that worked at the Rio in the 90s from Marnell, that's the best job they ever have. I guarantee you. If you have memories of that place right now and you're a dealer at the Rio, that's the best job you ever had. It might not be the most money you ever made, but it's the best job you ever had. Why is it the best money? Because you had friends and family. Those were your friends and family. In fact, many of those friends probably became your family. I mean, Marnell fostered this environment that was so conducive to a good time, a friendly experience. I remember one time dancing with the pineapple lady in the middle of the damn casino. On my way to the table, she just grabbed me. We start dancing. Where can you do that?
Yeah, it's a culture of a thing, and the culture of a thing comes from people. That's why that's one of the reasons why we do that. We do have some more super chats. Clint Vert, Popo Cobra, give us another $4.99. Says, taking my wife there for our anniversary.
Yes.
What is the best restaurant to go to? We love Lavo and STK type vibes. I have to recommend always Wing Lee.
No, Wing Lee. Yeah, I was gonna say Wing Lee.
But if you're not into Chinese, there's Ferraro's.
Mhm.
There is. Let me think of what's a really good one. Do you have one off the top of your head?
So we love Ferraro's. I will tell you, like Resorts World Breeza has been
Breeza,
really
yes.
popular destination for us. Has really fantastic. If you're looking for steakhouses, what is our favorite steakhouse now?
On the Strip, it would be the Steakhouse, especially if you're going for that type of vibe.
Really, the Circus Circus? That's at Circus Circus, by the way. One of the oldest.
Yes, but if like, cause they're going for like the lava vibe.
Yeah.
If you're going for that type of vibe, going
Really?
in because yes, Circus Circus, you wouldn't think that has this great restaurant in there.
Yeah, but once you walk into the restaurant, it's sort of like you're
it's
taken
like a whole
away.
other universe.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
like
whole
a
other
whole other
thing.
thing.
You get past a few kids, some gumballs, and boom, into some really great steak.
But off the Strip steakhouse, ooh, that's a really good question. That's actually really good.
We weren't big fans of Golden Steer, dude. I think people are steered into this idea of them being like, because we had their staple stuff, and we just wasn't life changing for us. It wasn't like, believe it or not, Capitol Grill is still our favorite. The service there has been hit or miss, but the food's always been fantastic.
Which is a chain, so if you're trying to go for something that's only here,
You know what
I
we
mean,
really enjoyed the other day was Fleming's.
Fleming's is also a chain, so they probably have one out there.
Yeah, so Fleming's here on the west side, but I mean, if Italian you can't beat Ferraro's. It has such this old Italian vibe. It's been here forever.
It's a great place to go.
We love we've loved almost everything we've had there.
Do not go to Buddy V's restaurant, but do go to
Holy
his cake section.
smokes. The cakes are fantastic. The restaurant's like, yeah. But I will say Wing Lee is the only Michelin star Chinese place here in town, right?
Yes,
I think so. And it's really, it's amazing because the food is so good. If you look at it, it doesn't, it's like that subtle, like, holy crap, I can't believe this is that good thing,
Andrew Taylor says, "What is your favorite restaurant on the Strip?" Well, kind of answered Wing Lee.
Yep.
Wing Lee is just
We
that
both
good.
we both really love I would say as far as Italian on the Strip, Brisa is one of our
Brisa.
favorite places. It's Italian. It's inside Resorts World.
I like the rigatoni there.
Yeah, they have some really
spicy
great
rigatoni.
Yeah, really great. In fact, even their desserts are very sort of standoutish. They have a kind of unique take on the desserts. You know what we also like is Peppermill.
Peppermill, yes.
It's
Peppermill is great for almost everything,
Yep.
but especially the pancakes.
Dude, next level. If you haven't been to the Peppermill in Vegas, you should really go. It's quite literally that good. It's very touristy. It's very pink, and it's got this wonderful fireplace that let's just say was a great place for David to connect back in the day.
Though I will say, Clint, I wouldn't go to Peppermill if you're going for like an anniversary thing.
Well,
It is a nice thing,
they have great food,
but
dude,
they're
it's
going
more
for like a different type of vibe.
it's kind of the morning I woke up hungover vibe. That's Peppermill, dude.
But it is a nice place, though. Don't get me wrong.
And definitely try going to the left. Grab a chair just to don't be high because that'll set you back. And by the way, I will say, not that I have any idea what the hell I'm talking about right now, but if you are doing anything related to shrooms or acid or anything else, stay the hell out of that barbecue or that fire pit that's in there because the mirrors will drive you insane, dude. Absolutely insane, literally.
Jack Strange gave us $4.99.
Ooh.
Says, do you guys give one-on-one craps lessons? If so,
Yes.
what is the timing session, money for them, throwing techniques and strategies? David does have a Dice with David. You can book it online at casinoquest.biz. And he will not only just do craps. If you want to do Keno, he'll do Keno with you.
I'll do Keno. I will tell you right now, I'll get you through I'm a hardway setter. That's all I do. If you want to learn anything beyond that, it's Ronnie's our guy. In fact, we're working on a dice clinic. I think if enough people, that's one of the things me and Ronnie have been talking about, getting sexy with, having a dice clinic. Dice clinics are sexy, dude. Let's be real, okay? So the idea is I'm going to teach strategy, he's going to teach shooting, and together we're going to have this whole dice clinic, and we're going to do it on a regular basis. We're going to do it because you guys come out on a regular basis. We're going to do it on a regular basis. It's going to be much more affordable than those competing clinics. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be at Casino Quest, that kind of thing. I think we'll have a lot of fun. We might have some bagels, something like this. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Pro Craps. John gave us $25 super chat. Says first edition of the night towards the scholarship.
Yep.
A new dealer. So who's next? Let's get this done in the next
We'll save
30
that
minutes.
scholarship for you, buddy, when you come out. Your first $25 discount. What do you say?
He's trying to get people to donate for the next 30 minutes to get like a full scholarship going.
Oh, full scholarship? Yeah, I mean, so one game is like $250, and then we have.
Well, what he's trying to do is like initiate other people.
Oh,
so
good job, buddy. We
Um,
love our John. All right, good.
Skill and Luck says, how hard is it to learn the stickman position? Is Dennis going to learn it?
Skill.
I mean, I would say I'm decent, but I wouldn't say I'm
Uh-huh.
great.
You know what's interesting is when people come to school, they learn the bases. Stick is usually the last thing. Moving the dice is much harder than it looks. So those of you who just pick up a stick and try to move these two little dice across the table, I promise you it's not that easy. It's amazing how many dealers, they practice everything on base because they see that as being, the hardest thing, manage 6 players. If you're on the stick, by the way, you have a table of up to 16 people. You got to move the dice, navigate through the chips. You have to, collect the dice and all. It's not an easy task. I tell, if you're going to be a dealer, if you're learning how to be a dice dealer, do not forget to practice moving those dice around the table because it will screw you up day one. Even if you're listen, you cannot practice moving dice on a dead game with no chips on it because that's cheating. That's not how a real game. We can do that all day long. Those of you who are dealers and work, graveyards and don't get to deal a lot of things, I mean, it's a low bar, right? Because it's almost too easy. You need to practice for the times that you have 8 players all yelling at you, trying to get their bets in, and then you're on the stick, you're navigating across this minefield of bets. That's the thing you need to practice because if you don't, when you get to that situation, it's gonna overcome you,
I do know how to stick, but I'm not great at it.
He knows
I
how to
can move
work
the
a
dice.
stick like nobody's
I can move the dice
business.
very well,
Uh-huh.
but it's the props that get me a little bit.
It's the pops?
The props.
Oh,
The prop
okay.
bets.
I thought you were working pops over there. I don't know what the hell's going on. Huh? What do you got?
Okay, so we have a couple little last things.
Oh,
here.
last things?
We just
By the
need
way,
2 more
thank
likes,
you, John.
guys.
2 more likes? Oh my God, we get to give away this whole coin. We're gonna give away this coin, dude. It's a really nice coin. I think we just give it away anyways. Let's not.
Listen, they gotta give me the 2
Oh
likes.
my
or
God,
it's,
Dennis
it's
really
all or
locks
nothing.
it down when it comes to numbers, dude. Swear to God.
Pro Craps.
Yeah, Pro Craps.
Asking another question. Says,
Go.
no question.
Yes.
Player buys in for 500 and immediately has
I
you
know.
drop.
I got this email. I feel so bad, but go ahead, give it to me now. We'll let it go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Player buys in for $500
Yep.
and immediately has you drop $25. Does a pass line right along but nothing else, and then another 25 or a percent of the win at the end. Love or hate this guy?
If he starts out betting 25 for you on the pass line,
No. So I think the first 25 is just here you go. This is
hand
yours.
in yours.
Then after that, he does just like $1 on the pass line alongside.
Okay, so if he starts with a bet and he gives it in, hand it in, that's great. You don't need to do that. Just bet the dollars. Like literally, if you buy in for $520, you get a stack of green or whatever. You know what I mean? And then you get a stack of aces, and you put those aces on the line for the dealer while you're playing. If you're at the $25 level, dealers will love you a long time. You don't need to give them and I know dealers are like, what are you talking about, David? You want them to throw it? No, that's silly. I want you to use your money to win. I don't want you to cut in, I want you to use that money, win. Use that $25, win 25 so you get another stack of dollars and put me on the line. 100% every dealer out there, except the little weird ones, you know which ones I'm talking about. You just buy a stack of aces, dude. I mean, especially nowadays. Take that $20. If you're going to be in $500, let's just say, buy a stack of aces and put the dollar on the line for the dealer when they come out. And if you start winning, add shoes. Add shoes. By that, I mean add odds. So it's $1, 2 odds, 3 odds, whatever it is. You don't have to do max odds. But dealers will love you forever. They'll provide you a high. By the way, I do this at Bellagio, right? When we were playing $50, as I'm winning, I go to $5 on the line with odds, things like this. Of course, I change the denomination. But if you put a 2 with 4, right? That's going to start, making money, on a regular basis. That's what dealers are looking for, some consistency. Some bets win, some bets lose, but that's enough.
I'm pretty generous. I go almost every roll unless I'm like really getting whacked.
Yeah.
I'll put $1 on the pass line and then $2 odds always.
Yeah. I know there's, so like I think in that one email he sent me, he talked about someone betting across. I will tell you this. The casinos have different rules about betting across, whether you can leave the bet or take it down, under player control, all this other stuff. But it does create a lot of work for the dealer. So I know that it's kind of a mixed thing. Some dealers will probably say, yeah, bet across. Other dealers are like, listen, just stick it on the line. It makes it easier if it's 2 dealers talking. Obviously, a dealer wants you to make all the bets possible that you want to make. Then no dealer is going to say, please, God, do not bet for me. I don't want it. That's silly. So, like, if you really want to make a bet, that's great. But when you start betting place bets, it's just a lot of work. It just adds another component to the dealer. Now, if you're someone who is power pressing and you have these bets under your player control and you're moving these bets up north, the dealer's going to love you. But again, it does create a little bit of a nuance. You know what I mean?
Well, good news.
Good news
We
is
have
what?
213 likes.
Hello and welcome.
So pick a word. Pick any word you like.
Pick any word.
Let's just go oof because of your hat.
By the way, let's do Ellis. Oh, oof, because of my hat?
Just OOF.
Okay. Really? I love this hat, by the way. You know who I used to say oof a lot among a lot of the things apparently I say a lot. But you know who really started this whole thing with the hat?
Who?
I forgot his name just now. Who does our classes?
Ronnie?
Ronnie. Ronnie. Yeah. Ronnie, come over and fix our grill, buddy. Our grill is broken, but you can fix it and start making some meat for us, dude. Okay? What do you think?
Hey, yo.
No, we love Ronnie. Ronnie does a fantastic job. He's at Casino Quest. And yeah, he got me my first oof hat. You know that?
Yeah, and a genius hat, I think.
And he also gave me a genius hat. Oh, wait, did he give me the oof hat or the genius hat?
I think it was a genius is the first one.
Genius hat. Someone else gave me the oof hat.
That was later.
That was later, yeah, 100%. Oh, I didn't realize I say these things over and over. I know the 100%. I had a lawyer. I was once sitting in for a deposition, and the lawyer's like,
You got to stop that.
do you mean 100% yes, or is it just an affirm? You know what I mean? They're like, you can't say that anymore. We can't use that. I'm like, well, what are you going to do, buddy?
Okay, I'm gonna let everyone type in. We're gonna
Oof.
answer like one more or two more questions.
All right, two more questions. All right, well, poor Timmy. Poor Timmy. What do you got, buddy?
Someone says, how do you squeeze in a table? I've never seen a table with 16 people. That sounds insane.
It does. It is insane. You know how many people I used to? I've been on tables with 20.
Wow.
I've literally had a
how
table.
How big was the table?
It was probably a 14-footer, but I actually hosted. I don't know if it was at the carnival. I think it was at the carnival, where. Well, this is just one version of it. There was another table. I absolutely for a fact because we had these groups get in and they had to play the game, and so we had 20 people, and it was like everybody was leaning in, and they would have a hand in on the table and sort of half a rack kind of thing. It was absurd, but they were all together. But we had this the Masquerade Village when the Rio was open had this like celebrity group that came out. And we had to squeeze all these people. Luckily, they weren't all betting. They just were there to like interact with the game. And they were all celebrities. I didn't know a single one. I had no idea who any of these people were, which is probably better because I didn't care anyways. It didn't make me nervous. But everybody was like, there were supervisors like, oh my God, look who it is. And I'm like, no way. I have no idea who the hell you are. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's tell them when to stop. Tell me when to stop. Okay, give me a number between 1 and 10.
1 and 10. The lucky number 9.
You had to choose 9, didn't you?
I did. You had to go all the way down. You gotta move.
We got Austin Chen. You're the winner.
Austin Chen. We're gonna send you a coin, buddy.
I'm gonna type the email that you're gonna need, so I'm gonna add you right now.
Yep. Don't forget to email us. We take care of everything. It's completely free.
Except everything. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. You'll owe us later.
Bam. Okay.
Good.
I think that's the end of the night. Only because all the questions got scrolled away because of all the oofs.
Really? No more questions?
So we're
oh my God. We're gonna end this. So we're gonna call it a night. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing me. If you happen to be at Ellis, say hello. We're gonna be filming though. If we're filming, shut the hell up. Nobody cares. But we're going to be filming, and we're going to be playing some slots, and then we're going to do this show. I really hope you guys play a part of that. And we hope to be an interactive show. So I'm going to have guests, and I'm going to try to guilt out all of our, I wouldn't say celebrity guests, but people in the business and people you might want to hear from and have something to share. We're not going to get into the too technical crap. I don't want to get, you know what I mean? I want to keep it simple, and I want to keep it fun. I want to keep it positive. But these are people, hopefully, who can answer questions, will entertain questions, stuff like this. But I really hope this can work. It'll be something different. It's been tried a few times. So far, it hasn't really taken off. Not by me, but by some other groups. But hopefully, we can do it. I got a really smart dentist over there.
Okay, say the line. Say the line.
Off to Keno to unwind.
And the truth is...